Hi there, welcome to the archives. So the sun is out so nice today. The lighting was giving what it needed to. I wasn't gonna do a video today, but I thought I might as well just get on here and do one more. Um, well, I don't know if I'll do one more, but I'm gonna do go back to goddess, 50 goddesses, spirits, and saints, and and other female figures who have shaped beliefs. So today we're gonna go back and we're gonna do Newt. Is it Newt or is it Nut? I've seen some people say Nut. I think it's Newt. Let me know. Speaking of which, I saw the video of Kai Sinat. Is that his name? I usually just say I just mind my own business, but I really appreciate that we're bringing the dictionary back. Yes, please. Very important. It's okay to not know stuff. Every time you see me doing these videos, I'm like, is this how you say it? I don't know how to say it. Is this a capital city? Yesterday, I didn't know the capital city, Ethiopia, and I looked it up, right? Part of learning is being okay with not knowing and having the humility to be like, can you teach me? Can you show me what this is? I love that. Can we do more of that? That's what Cam Newton should have done, right? Oh, eclectic. Ha, shit. I don't know how to spell it. Oh, I said it wrong? Thank you for telling me. Does community care? I didn't know I was saying it wrong. I was putting the N in front of it. Thanks so much for, thanks, sis. Right? But like, people get into the ego when it's embarrassment, and we're like, it's like when you're falling and you try to like save yourself, sometimes it's okay to just fall, right? Um, People still laugh at you, but it doesn't matter. You know that, oh, this is the wrong way to do it. Not like I created a new word because I'm like this big my team. You don't need to do all of that, Cam. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. Anyways, we're gonna get to again. See, it's NUT. Is this the one that Rihanna has a tattoo of? Somebody told me recently that Rihanna's tattoo is demonic. Again, I that's okay. That's your belief, right? What is she gonna do? Argue with your feelings? You think my tattoos in general are demonic to a lot of Christians, right? They say you're not supposed to do that to your body. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your beliefs, your opinions based on your biblical text that you think is the end all be all, right? I just think of it a little bit differently, and I'm not going to argue with your feelings on it. I'm not going to argue with your opinion. You think it's wrong. Okay. I don't think it's wrong. Oh, but your way is the right way. Yours is the most dominant way. So now I'm going to hell. Okay, then we're willing to take that risk. But you also take that risk when you lie, when you eat crawfish and shellfish, and when you do all of those things as well too. When you sin, you also take that risk of going to hell, right? Some people don't even believe in hell. So yeah, yes, yeah, thank you. Arya for sure would be a new girl. Okay, so Nut is the ancient Egyptian goddess of the sky. So again, this is the image for it. There's a bird. What kind of a bird is that? I don't know yet. We'll find out. Oh, is that a bird? Is that Sunra? Okay. So Nut is one of the oldest goddesses in ancient Egypt. Egypt is in, I brought the Bible out today. Speaking of Christianity, I brought the Bible out today because I saw a video recently where somebody was like, they're talking about the biblical times, and he said the state of Israel. There wasn't a state of Israel back then, sir. This is the Bible. So in my Bible, again, maybe my Bible is wrong, but it shows the Old Testament world viewed from the southeast. And this is what it shows me. Okay? Look, it says Old Testament world. If we go, there's Arabia. I'm watching Malcolm X right now, and he just did um, he just went to Mecca. There's no, there's no, there's Egypt. We're getting into Egypt today. Don't mind my nails. There's Egypt. There's Canaan, right? I don't see Palestine on there. There's Libya, right? Libya's capital is Tripoli. There's a Sinai. And then at the back, it goes into a New Testament world viewed from the southeast. And I see Palestine. I see Syria. There's Damascus. There's even Cyprus. What is Cyprus's capital? Nicosia. There's Egypt. There's Alexandria. But there isn't any. There isn't Israel. There's Egypt. There's Libya. There's Arabia. Look, it literally says Palestine. You can even see Gaza, right? So could we just be more honest? There wasn't a state of Israel in the Bible. Israel was mentioned, but it wasn't a place per se. It was more like an identity, yes or no? I don't know. So Newt, let's stick to the topic. So she was born of air and moisture. So it says Nut is one of the oldest goddesses in ancient Egypt. She's a member of the Ennead. How do you say that? When two vowels go walking together, the first one says his name. That was one of the first rules of grammar we learned because there's an E and an A. E, A, I, O, U are vowels. When two vowels go walking together, I always learn the first one says its name. So the E is what is Ennead. So she's a member of the Ennead, a group of 9 gods and goddesses of the ancient city of Heliopolis. Heliopolis, near Cairo. Her parents were created by the first god, Atum. Her father was Shu, god of dry air, and her mother was Tefnut, goddess of moisture. Or is it Tefnut? Tefnut, goddess of moisture. So her parents were literally dry air and moisture. Together they formed the sky above, Nut, and the ground below, her brother Jeb. So Nut is a sky above. Her parents created her, and her brother Jeb. Again, in Mamu, we saw Mamu and her brother Lisa. Here we see the same thing. Nut and her brother Jeb. Okay? One forms the ground below, one creates the sky above. Masculine, feminine, but they're also still together. We need each other. So she's made of the elements in the stars, and the universe covers her body, is what it says here. She arches over earth. She's touching it just with the tips of her fingers and toes, is what it says here. So in most religions, the sky is a male god, right? Including, I would say we see in Christianity, God is the sky god. Usually in paganism, it's Mother Earth, right? And that's what it says here. So in most religions, the sky is a male god, while the earth is female. So Nut's femininity is incredibly unusual, right? It's very unusual to have a sky god that's feminine. Which is, I wonder if that's probably, if this is the tattoo that Rihanna has, maybe that's why, right? It goes with like that whole kingly thing of a woman being a king, of a woman embodying the masculine. So she's a goddess of the sky. Sky is usually the domain of masculine men. And so basically, she passes the sun through her body every day and night, giving birth to it as mother of the heavenly bodies. So here, again, yesterday I was saying with Mamu that the sky is usually the masculine, not with this creation story, right? It's actually Nut, the feminine, that births the sun. And so, in fact, it's her role as mother that made Nut so essential to the ancient Egyptians. And so the sun god Ra was afraid of anything taking away his power. Here comes the masculinity, the fragile masculinity, right? The sun god Ra was afraid of anything taking away its power. And so when he heard Nut was going to have children, he was afraid that Nut's children would challenge him. So he cursed her, saying, Nut shall not give birth any day of the year. We're like, what? Any day of the year? That's very specific. The Egyptian year at that point had 360 days long. Okay, pay attention because right now we have 365 days. Listen to what happened. So how could it be possible? How could she possibly have her children if she could not give birth on any day? Well, she's a crafty one. Okay, she's a little coy. She's intelligent. And so she came up with a plan. She conspired with a clever bird. It was a bird-headed god of wisdom, Thoth. So this is the bird I was talking about. So that's Thoth. They came up with a plan. So basically, he was in love with Newt. So he would do anything that he was like. She would say jump, and he would be like, how high? Okay. Thoth was obsessed with her. I'll help you, Newt. Let's do this. And so basically, Thoth promised to beat the god of the moon, um, Khonsu, at gambling. So there's a god of the moon. Remember, again, you see how there's like hierarchy but no hierarchy. Nut is a goddess of the sky. There's also sun. The Ra is a god of the sun. We also have um, Khonshu, is that how you say it? Who is a god of the moon. Thoth is a god of wisdom, right? Wisdom is like, let me go battle the moon. Is the moon here feminine then? What is a moon? Who is Khonshu? I'm not sure. Again, I don't really dabble into Egyptian, all of this stuff. So I'm learning just like as I'm reading this, just like Mamu Wab is learning. But anyway, so basically, um, Thoth and Khonshu are battling gambling. Okay, every time, whenever Khonshu lost, he gave Thoth a part of his moonlight. So that was what it was. Khonshu was not very good at rolling dice and lost time and time again. So every time the moon loses, I'll give you a little bit of my moonlight. Well, soon enough, Thoth had won enough moonlight for 5 extra days. So, according to this is how we have 365 days of the year, not 330. So, you see what she did there? She said, "Oh, you want to hex me so I can't have kids on any day? Watch me gain days. Watch me get 5 more days. How about that?" So, basically, in each of these 5 days, Newt gave birth to one of her children, and a new generation of powerful gods and goddesses were born. Brilliant. How about that? Talk about reverse Uno. So she gained 5 more days just from, huh? Oh, I didn't even have to tell you. What are you doing? And so the sun god Ra was furious. He was deceived. He was so mad that he promised to forever separate from Newt, um, from her brother and her husband. So the son was like, I am going to separate you from your brother and your husband. Remember? Her brother and husband. So she married her husband, her brother? Because remember, her brother was the ground below? What is with that? It was her brother. She married her brother? Didn't someone else do that? Was it Juno? Huh. That was a thing people did? You just married your brother? That's weird. So, anyways, he made their father Shu, god of air, the dry air, lie between them so earth and sky could never be reunited. While Nut and Jeb pined for each other day and night, they could never be together. Well, I think that's how it should be, right? Like, that's your sister? So she married her brother? Anyways, regardless, it says that sun god Ra was like, don't, I hate that you deceived me. I rebuke you from ever being with your brother and husband. And so we have the separation of the sky and the earth. That's how, in this Egyptian story, we have the separation of which is again different across many places. Remember, in my own lineage, within the Ashantis, Asasiya, the same thing happened. She was separated from the sky god. Remember, she was stacking all of those calabashes to go touch the sky and she fell. And then the sky and the earth were separated. So there's different variations across different cultures of how the sky came to be and how the earth came to be and why they're separated. But this is the story here of Newt. So she's a loving mother. She tried to help her children whenever she could. Um, Her children did turn on one another, though. One of her sons, Seth, killed her most beloved child, Osiris, right? So after her daughter Isis lovingly put him back together, we're gonna get into Isis in a separate one. Was I doing Isis next? No, I'm gonna get into Isis. We're gonna do the Egyptian ones next. We're done all the African spirits. There's no more West African ones. Now we're getting into like Egyptians, Native American cultures. We're gonna get into China. We're gonna get into Japan. We're gonna go into Hawaii, um, India, all of those places. Okay, so just to let you know, we're done the Black African ones. We're gonna go into the other cultures and see how they do it. But basically, Osiris climbed the ladder, which is a sacred symbol of Nut, to enter the heavenly skies for protection. Because of this, Nut became known as the protector of the dead, right? Because Osiris, and maybe that's where this idea that when you die, you go to heaven. Because when Osiris died, he climbed the ladder up to heaven. And so, yeah, Nut is known as one of 1,000 souls. Nut. Um, since the souls of the dead were represented as stars in the sky, right? So this is where we also have when people die, when dogs die, they go to heaven. When people die, they go up to the sky. She's seen as mother of the gods and is seen as a ceiling of ancient Egyptian graves and coffins. They often show an image of her stretching over the dead body like the heavens. So it says here, Nut doesn't only give birth and watch over death, though. She also provides nutrition for her children as they grow through life. So she represents life and death. This means she's sometimes shown as a great cow stretching across the sky, or a sow suckling her piglets, who are stars. She's also represented by the sycamore tree. She provides shelter to those who need it. And so this is Newt. There is an Egyptian called their time of study of the planets and stars, the Book of Nut. The goddess inspires a lot of women today who celebrate her as the mother of the stars, the moon, and the sun. So this is Nut, or is it Nut? Um, yeah, so interesting, right? So are you seeing some of the similarities across different cultures in terms of who their different creation stories include? Again, they include women, right? Christianity, for instance, we don't even want to talk about the Mother Mary. We don't even talk about Mary Magdalene, right? And so um, I often associate a lot of the Abrahamic religions with more of like a patriarchal thing. Men are in charge, the prophets are male, anybody of wisdom is usually a man. In some of the ancient stories, in some of the pagan stories, it really does center a lot of women, right? And but it shows them in both as like really good people, and also as spirit that can also not do the greatest things, right? So that's what I want us to pay attention to. There wasn't a state of Israel at these times. Israel is actually quite new. Um, what else? I'm going to end it there. So this was Nut, ancient Egyptian goddess of the sky. Okay? So until next time, in solidarity, we're going to get to, I think it was, who should we do next? I think I was going to do Keshmit. We're going to stick to Egypt. And then, again, like I said, we're going to move into, there's so many different cultures. There's Hindu, there's Buddhist, there's Chinese, Burmese, um, Bali, Hawaii, like I said, the Lakota. So we're going to continue to learn about other cultures and how and who they included in their creation stories as some of the different spirits and stuff. Okay, so until next time, in solidarity, keep reading. It's okay to use the library, the dictionary. It's okay to use the library. Please use the library. Um, if you don't know a word, look at the dictionary. If you have a word and you want to find a synonym is a similar word to it. You have the thesaurus. I don't know. We don't really talk about the thesaurus anymore, but these were all tools I had as a kid growing up. If I wanted to find another word that was similar to um, beauty, what's another word for beauty? You go to the thesaurus. Oh, pretty, blah, 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 right? Synonyms mean the words are similar, antonyms mean it's the opposite. Okay, let's keep literacy alive. Ciao. Bye.